Hello everyone, my name is Yusuf and this is the first part of a new video series called HTML for Beginners. I'm hoping that by the end of this series you'll have a good grasp of what HTML is, what it does, and how you'll be able to use it to build your own website. There will also be a brief HTML demo at the end, so stick around. Now, let's start by describing what HTML does. Now, HTML tells the browser what to display to the user. Now, let's take a step-by-step preview of what exactly happens to your browser when you start visiting a website. Now, the browser will ask you for the address, and you will type it in. The browser goes to the server to which the address belongs. Now, the server will provide the browser with an HTML document that represents the web page that the server wants you to see. Then the browser translates the HTML to the web page to the actual text, color, and images that you would see. So the HTML code itself runs in the browser on your computer, not on the server. Now, this is a very important point. Now let's take an example of what HTML tells the browser to do, how it tells the browser to do it. Now HTML would, for example, tell the browser about font sizes of the text that the browser displays. It would also tell it about font colors. It would tell the browser about the fonts themselves, and of course the text itself. It would also tell the browser about any images to display, any background colors, any links that the user can click on to visit other web pages, and a whole lot more that we will get into in future videos. Now we're going to take a look at how the browser interprets the HTML. Now, an HTML file is essentially a text document that you would create the same way that you would create any other text document. Now, this is to be interpreted when passed into a browser, and the browser recognizes these styling and structuring uses through tags. Now, when I say styling, I mean what we talked about earlier. Font colors, font sizes, the fonts themselves, and so on. Now, the browser recognizes these uses through tags. Now, the browser displays the web page according to the data passed in through the tags. Right? Now, this may seem confusing at first, but it will become much more clear when we get to the demo and in future videos. Now, most tags have two parts. The opening part, which starts with a lesser than sign, then the name of the tag, in this case it's P, and then a greater than sign. Now, these two signs are called angle brackets. Now, the closing part looks like this, which is a lesser than sign, but then in order to signify that this is a closing part, there's a forward slash before the name of the tag, and then a greater than sign. Now, the text that is to be displayed would exist between the two parts. And the data about the tag, such as font colors, font sizes, and so on, would exist inside the opening part. And one more thing is that tags can be nested. This will also become clearer in the next slide and in the demo and in future videos. Now, the title tag, now this is the structure of a typical HTML page. It starts with an HTML tag, and if you skip to the end, you see the HTML closing part. Nested inside the HTML tag is a head tag and a body tag. Now, inside the head tag is a title tag, and inside the body tag is two same level tags, which is the H1 tag and the P tag. Now, this will also, now you don't actually need to know the meaning of these tags right now, but it will become clearer, as I said, in the coming videos. We can now move on to the demo. Now, for this demo, I'm going to be using TextEdit to type in the HTML, but feel free to use any text editor that you like. Now, we start with the HTML tag. This tells the browser to start interpreting HTML. Now, it's common practice to indent nested tags because it makes HTML much more readable. Now we start with the head tag. Now the text in the head tag doesn't actually get displayed to the user, but it tells the browser about some information about the web page. For example, the title, which you saw in the screenshot earlier, is actually the tab name that gets displayed to you in the browser. So we can put in the tab name as our web page. Actually, let's make it our first web page. And we need to close that out. Now, the body part, the body tag, whatever is in the body tag, is what actually gets displayed. So, for example, we can just put in right here, hello world. Now, just to see this in action, just to see what we just did, we need to save the file. I'll save it onto my desktop and we'll call it our first web page. Now make sure that the extension is HTML so that the browser knows to interpret this as HTML. Yeah, okay, now let's save it. We have a little warning here, just say use.html. Now here's our web page. Now make sure you open this using a browser, which in my case I use Safari, and this is it. We just told the browser to display hello world to the user. Now let's take our first example of a text tag, which is the h1. h1 is a heading tag that tells the browser to display this as the biggest heading, because there's h2, h3, h4, h5, and h6. Now each of these tags tells the browser to display it as in a slightly smaller text size. So for example, if we do this and then save it, make sure you save it, Command S, then reload this page, this should be much bigger and will also be bold because it's a heading. Now, if we have, for example, H2, hello Earth, because, you know, Earth. Now we save this, we can hit reload here, it will be displayed in a slightly smaller text size, and so on. Now these are the heading tags. Now for paragraphing, we use the P tag. P stands for paragraph, and here we can put in anything that we want to display to the user. Now, much more will be covered in later videos. Hopefully in later videos we'll be focused more on the demo rather than on the theory, rather than on the slides. So yeah, this marks the end of the first part of HTML for beginners. If you have any questions or if you need any further clarification, please leave a comment and make sure to like this video. Also, I'm on Twitter. You can contact me via Twitter at ysami917. Please do if you have any questions or need any further clarification. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys later.